Welcome in. Welcome to Ultimate Soccer one more time. We're glad to have you back, and we're glad to have you back. If you like, subscribe, you'll make us really happy, and you'll help the channel too. Remember, hit that notification button too. It's EFL Cup preview show between Wrexham AFC and Bradford City. Welcome in. Welcome to everybody. Glad you're here, like I say. Now, looking at the game itself, there's a couple of ways you can look at this. But the one thing I want to say before we go into it is I'd like to have a cup run. Would you like to have a cup run this year? Do you want to go far into the English Football League Cup? Or maybe the FA Cup when it comes around too. Remember, it's always fun, the FA Cup. League Cup, the Carabao Cup, that's a different kind of fun. But the FA Cup, I think that's where the real fun begins. But we are in the EFL Cup, like I say, between Wrexham, AFC and Bradford City. And it's also a case of Phil Parkinson taking on Mark Hughes. Now, if you don't know who Mark Hughes is, you don't really know something about major Welsh international footballing history. Mark played for Wales, but in them times he played, he scored 16 times. So if you saw Mark play, he scored 16 goals for Wales in 72 games. You would have seen him sometimes collect the ball, spin, turn, start running, and unleash an absolute bloody thunderbolt into the net, making the goalkeeper of the day look useless. He was that good. He was that good. And he also played for some big clubs, yeah? He played for the likes of Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Chelsea, and Manchester United. So he played for quite a few clubs. All the dialects there were pretty spot on. Tell me if I was bad. Tell me if I was good. Tell me if you did like it or not. But anyway, Mark was massive as a footballer player. And I got to say, I always looked up to him. He was one of the stars of the day when I was coming through, and influenced me, totally influenced me for years to come. There's another guy in the Welsh national team going even further, and that's Leighton James. Anybody out there know who Leighton James is? Because if you do, and you saw him play, you saw something special. We're going to do a show on Leighton James moving forward here pretty soon, but Leighton James was pretty much one of my heroes as a kid. Anyway, getting back to it, it's Phil Parkinson taking on Mark Hughes. Now, the last time Wrexham played against Bradford City was 2008 in League Two, and we're both in League Two now, and it was a 1-1 tie, and Neil Roberts scored the go-ahead goal, but it ended up as a 1-1 draw, so not so bad, not so good. Now, talking about recent form, obviously you know Wrexham's recent form, but if you don't, I'm going to tell you right now. It's 1 win, 3 draws, 1 loss, 14 goals for, 14 against. Not so bad. It can get better. Bradford's recent form, remember, Mark Hughes has got these guys well drilled. And defensively, they're a decent team. But Mark Hughes' team is 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses. 4 goals for, 6 against, and -2 on the goal differential. So not so bad, not so bad. Now, there's something about Phil Parkinson that you guys probably don't know. And well, you know, I'm going to let you into a little secret if you didn't, but Phil Parkinson used to, a few years ago, coach Bradford City. Take a look. That's Phil holding, the League Two N-Power trophy of the day, but League Two, and they got up through the playoffs as well. That's what I'm saying. So that was the playoff final trophy, N-Power, League Two, got Bradford City promoted. Pretty good job. So that was one of the things he did. Also, listen up, Welsh fans. In 2013, he also got Bradford City to the League Cup final, the competition that we're in right now. I mean, how nuts is it that Bradford got there in the first place? But anyway, he got them there. And I got to tell you, if you don't like the result of this game, it's because you really don't like a certain club. But in that final, Bradford City in the League Cup final in 2013, they got shellacked 5-0. And it was by Swansea City. Yes. Another Welsh club doing well at the time. Yes, so Swansea won the goal. And 5-0, that is quite the result. But you know what? For Bradford City on the day, it was a case of getting there was really what it was all about. But Bradford had their success, I tell you, under Phil Parkinson. And Phil Parkinson started with Bradford. It was August 2011, and he finished in 2016. And in 2019, Bradford City was relegated from League One to League Two. So Phil wasn't around wasn't relegated. Now, looking at some of the numbers, these might interest you. I've got to look at the board here because these numbers are quite good. But Phil Parkinson, as coach for Bradford City, coached 274 games, won 101, drew 86, lost 87. And his winning percentage, remember this now, the winning percentage was 36.86%. 36.86%. Now, Phil Parkinson as a Wrexham coach, okay, fewer games, but listen to the numbers. It really tells a story. Coached 115 games as Wrexham AFC coach, won 72. Drew 27, lost a mere 16. Only 16 losses in 115 games. That's impressive. But what really is impressive is the winning percentage of 62.61%. Remember, at Bradford City, 36.86. At Wrexham, it's 62.61%. And I got to tell you, it's probably going to go down slightly as we move through this year, but I don't see it going down too much at all. Taking a look at the other side's coach, well, I was talking about Mark Hughes, and I mean, he's a wonderful fellow. That's Mark Hughes now in sort of like the senior age of the game. And you got to say, the one thing that I remember about Mark Hughes is thunder thighs. The man had massive thighs. Hence, that's why he could unleash those thunderbolt shots. But that's Mark right now as the Bradford coach. And I'll tell you what, I think he's still got the fire, because the last time I heard any talk about Mark on TV, they kind of like, I thought it was rude, but they said, well, why'd you take this job? And he said, quote, Bradford is a big job. So he was looking at Bradford City as a big job. Do you agree with that? Was it a big job? Was it not a big job? That's what Mark said. But anyway, that's what he was thinking at the time. But looking at the prediction of the game, I got to say, I'm looking for a 2-1 win. Although it's going to be tough, we have the home advantage. And you got to say, I really have a request. If one sentence or one message could get out from this video about the game tomorrow or today, whichever way you're getting this now, because it's only hours away till kickoff for me. But if you could get one message into the crowd to really get behind the team, I know you always do, and I know you do. I hear it. I see it. But the 12th man, could we sing some massive Welsh hymns during the game and really, really blast it out for the world to hear? Because there's nothing finer than when you hear the Welsh singing Welsh hymns. So please, that's one request I have. Push it around into the crowd. Get some Welsh hymns singing. I know you do it all the time, but really get it loud, get it proud, and get it nuts loud. Really pick our lads up, because I tell you what, I can see some of them are kind of like looking at this season as a bit of a sandbag dragging along the sand, yeah? And it's getting harder and harder to pull it along and keep pace with everybody. They need a bit of a lift. A win would be a big thing. It would be a confidence booster, an absolute confidence booster. And that's what our guys need, is to get a good win. So get behind them like you always do. But Welsh hymns, please, 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 get everybody, get that message out there and get our guys to get some of that, yeah? But anyway, I got to say, should we win, I'm saying 2-1, that's what I'm calling for. Should we win, and don't forget, Bradford's got great defensive team defense. Great defensive team defense. And Mark Hughes has got them stacked and drilled. So I only have one thing to say. I think we've got the win, but if that win comes through, it could bring a massive team down to the racecourse ground in the next round. And as we progress through, it'll only get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's what I'm looking for. So get ready for the game. I am too. Like I say, I'm looking for the win. I think it's there. And next game coming up, don't forget that, is on the road at Tranmere Rovers, yeah? Prenton Park. And I got to tell you, it's going to be an absolute barn burner on the road. Just a little information before we go away on the dial here. League Two Tranmere Rovers at Prenton Park. Nice stadium, as you can see. It's a really nice stadium. It really is a lovely stadium. And Tranmere has got some history too. We'll talk on that in the next show, the pre-game for Tranmere Rovers. But get ready for it. But here's some little notes on form. Tranmere 1-1, no draws, 4 losses. 4 losses. Hopefully we get the 5th one in there. 8 goals scored, 9 against for 3 points. So they're lower than us in the league. You never know what's going to happen, but that's what's coming next. After this game is Tranmere Rovers and Wrexham on the road at Prenton Park. But for this one, it's Bradford City coming up right now, hours away. Drop your comments down below, guys. Tell me what you're thinking. And remember, A win puts us into the next round and closer to a possible huge club. That's what I'm looking for. But I'm not taking this for granted because Bradford are capable, and that defence I told you about can keep us off the clock. Hence, the key to the game, you've heard it before, it's absolutely the normal statement. But we're going to put the pressure on them in the first half in hoping to get the go-ahead goal. I don't see a floodgate opening here for either team. I think it's going to be a really tight contest. It might be nervy as well. That's why I want our guys to get the hymns going, to get our guys relaxed and get them to get into their passing game, and get them to play into the games, but get them to play above themselves and help them rise to the challenge because it's going to be a big, big challenge. Hope you enjoyed the last show. I hope you enjoyed this show. And I hope you're going to enjoy the next show. So stick around, get ready. But I'll tell you what, it's coming fast. Get ready for Bradford City. Let's have it. Cheers.